The question of whether Iran appears in biblical texts yields an affirmative answer, though the connection requires historical context. The geographical region now known as Iran, along with its ancient peoples, features prominently throughout biblical literature, albeit under different names, reflecting the various empires that controlled this territory across millennia. Biblical references to the Iranian plateau encompass several distinct groups and regions. The Book of Daniel mentions the Medes, who originated from Media in present-day northwestern Iran, along with the Persians, whose homeland centered around the Fars province. The Book of Esther unfolds entirely within the Persian Empire's context, while Genesis references Elam, the land of the Elamites, an ancient civilization that predated both Medes and Persians, coexisting with early Sumerians and Akkadians, before eventual incorporation into later empires. Numerous additional references to regional figures appear throughout the Hebrew Bible, but none surpasses the significance of King Cyrus I, Cyrus the Great, who unified the diverse peoples of the Iranian plateau and surrounding areas during the 6th century BCE, establishing the vast Persian Empire that would later fall to Alexander the Great. Biblical literature presents Cyrus within the historical framework of 6th century imperial rise. The Book of Ezra portrays this Persian ruler as the sovereign who authorized Jewish exiles' return from Babylon and sanctioned Jerusalem's temple reconstruction. Even more remarkably, the Book of Isaiah bestows upon this foreign monarch the extraordinary title of Anointed One, Messiah, a designation previously reserved for Israelite and Judahite kings and high priests. Isaiah's text states, "Thus says the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have grasped, to subdue nations before him and to loose the belts of kings." Understanding this exceptional reverence for a foreign ruler requires examining the historical context of Jerusalem's destruction and the ancient kingdom of Judah's collapse. In 586 BCE, the Babylonian Empire under Nebuchadnezzar II devastated Jerusalem, destroying the temple, burning the royal palace, demolishing city walls, and deporting much of Judah's population to Babylon. This initiated the famous Exile period, lasting approximately 47 years until 539 BCE, when Cyrus conquered the Babylonian Empire and captured Babylon itself. According to biblical accounts, Cyrus subsequently authorized the Jewish exiles' return and temple reconstruction. The Book of Ezra records, "In the first year of Cyrus king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus king of Persia, so that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and also put it in writing. Thus says Cyrus king of Persia, the Lord, the God of heaven, has given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he has charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah." However, this liberation didn't restore political independence. Under Babylonian rule, the former sovereign kingdom of Judah had become the imperial province of Yahud. Following Cyrus's conquest, Judah remained a province, now Persian rather than Babylonian, meaning the Jewish people simply transitioned from one foreign domination to another. The transformation appeared liberating because Persian imperial strategy differed fundamentally from Babylonian practices. Rather than deporting populations and destroying temples, Persians typically allowed peoples to remain in their ancestral lands, maintaining traditional customs and religious practices, provided they paid taxes and acknowledged Persian supremacy. This approach proved highly effective for governing their vast multinational empire. Archaeological discoveries provide crucial insights into Persian imperial strategy through the famous Cyrus Cylinder, discovered in 1879 in modern-day Iraq, ancient Babylon. Dating to the 6th century BCE, this clay cylinder contains Cyrus's decree regarding temple reconstruction and population restoration following Babylonian imperial collapse. Comparing the cylinder with biblical accounts of Cyrus's decree reveals striking parallels in general messaging, though detailed analysis reveals complexities. The cylinder doesn't specifically mention Judah, focusing instead on Babylon itself, yet employs remarkably similar rhetoric about divine selection and liberation. The cylinder states, "The worship of Marduk, king of the gods, Nabonidus, changed into abomination. The Lord of the gods examined all lands, looking for a righteous king willing to represent him, and pronounced the name of Cyrus, king of Anshan, pronounced his name to become ruler of all the world." This parallels biblical theology, where Yahweh selects Cyrus as his instrument. In both accounts, Cyrus appears as a divinely chosen liberator, removing illegitimate local rulers who had violated proper divine worship. The theological framework proves remarkably consistent across both traditions. The Cyrus cylinder presents Marduk as examining nations and selecting Cyrus as his righteous representative, while Isaiah portrays Yahweh similarly choosing and empowering this foreign king. Both texts depict divine sovereignty operating through historical events, with Cyrus serving as the deity's earthly instrument. From an imperial political perspective, this approach offered significant advantages. Rather than imposing foreign customs, worship, and deities oppressively, Persians presented themselves as liberators sent by local gods themselves, softening the reality of foreign rule by claiming divine local sanction. In Judah, Cyrus appears as Yahweh's legitimate anointed one, while in Babylon, he represents Marduk's chosen ruler. Each decree was strategically adapted to specific local contexts, demonstrating sophisticated use of religious legitimacy in ancient Near Eastern politics. This represents fascinating testimony to religion's political utilization in the ancient world, where divine authority provided the ultimate source of governmental legitimacy. The Persian approach, claiming representation of local deities rather than imposing foreign ones, proved remarkably effective for imperial administration. The biblical portrayal of Iran, through its various historical iterations, reflects complex relationships between religious identity, political power, and imperial strategy in the ancient Near East. Cyrus's unique position as a foreign ruler, granted messianic status, demonstrates how religious and political frameworks intersected in unexpected ways, creating lasting impacts on both Jewish theological development and Persian imperial success. The archaeological record, particularly the Cyrus Cylinder, provides external validation for biblical accounts, while revealing the sophisticated political theology that enabled Persian imperial expansion and administration across diverse cultural and religious landscapes.